All right, so hi guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com and welcome to another video on SEO. First of all, if you're brand new to this channel, make sure to press the subscribe button down below so whenever I release a new SEO video like this, you get notified, right? So in today's video, I like to kind of discuss with you everything that you need to know about skyscraper technique, right? Is a quick guide video which will include everything you need to know, like the explanations, the how-tos, right? Like how to really execute the skyscraper techniques for your SEO strategies, as well as some drawbacks, right? I'm pretty sure you must have heard or come across the videos or content about skyscraper technique, which you might not have even heard about some of its drawbacks, right? In which I'll discuss video in this video. So without further ado, let's kind of dive into the details about what is skyscraper technique in SEO. So first, the definition, right? So skyscraper technique, basically the word skyscraper, this technique itself, right, is a word coined by one of the famous SEO gurus named Brian Dean, right? So if you don't know what is Brian Dean, this is him, right? So he's the founder of backlinko.com, a very like famous SEO blog, right? So where you can learn SEO online, and this is the guy, right? So he basically came up with this term, which essentially means is a process of content creations, right? Is a process of content creations um, in order to attract as many number of backlinks as possible, right? So that basically means the skyscraper techniques. And the method of this technique is basically it comes from the idea of how the skyscraper is, right? So this is a picture of skyscraper, as you can see here. So you can compare each and every content on the search results as a building, right? And then the idea behind skyscraper technique is basically to create a better content than all of your competitors, than the existing content out there, basically to build as to build the tallest building out there for a particular keyword or term, right? Or to create the best piece of content for a particular keyword or term, with the goal of attracting as many backlinks as possible, right? So this is basically the idea behind skyscraper technique, right? So now let's come to the benefits, right? Like what are some of the benefits of this technique in SEO? So first of all is you get a chance, right? Get a chance to attract as many backlinks as possible, right? So because you're essentially creating a better piece of content than any of your competitors out there, which makes your content a very valuable piece of content, right? So which in turns, right, will help you attract more backlinks easier than just simply create a mediocre type of content and reach out for backlinks, right? So this will increase a chance of getting more number of backlinks. And the second advantage here is you get a chance to create a good piece of content, right? Good piece of content for your readers. Of course, besides just getting backlinks for a website, you also get a chance to create a very unique, great piece of content for your readers, right? Which like normally for any skyscraper content, it will basically be at least 3,000, 2,000 word long content, right? Which contains like lots and lots of valuable information for that particular topic. So you obviously kind of delight your readers, right? So this is another second advantage. Third advantage here of this technique is easier to scale, right? Easier to scale. And what I mean by easier to scale here is like all you have to do is create one best piece of content, right? Not just good, but one best piece of content, and outreach to as many as link prospects as possible, and then get backlinks to that piece of content, right? So rather than recreating new piece of content every time when you have to build a new backlink, you basically just reuse the same content again and again, right? So create one piece of content and build like a ton of backlinks to that piece of content, right? So it is much easier to scale here, which I'll explain to you how to really implement it in the next step, right? So you have a better idea of why it is an easier to scale method here. So these are the top 3 benefits, right, of skyscraper technique in SEO, right? Now, so now let's come to the steps, right? How to really implement it, this technique in your SEO strategies. So I've broken it down into 4 main steps, right? You can add a further steps to this as well, right? Like a further layer to this, but it generally consists of these 4 main steps. First, you have to find a topic which has lots of social shares and links. So first of all, before creating any skyscraper tech content for your website, you need to first find a topic which has lots of social shares and links, right? This is to make sure that your content will get as many eyeballs as possible, right? So you can utilize a tool such as Buzzsumo.com. So let me kind of show you that. Buzzsumo.com is a tool which allows you to kind of check for a particular keyword or topic how many social shares that topic gets, right? This is essentially a paid tool, but you can use you can use maybe like a 3 or 4 times per day, right? Like it permits you to around, let's say I want to create a piece of content around a topic SEO, right? So I search for this topic SEO. Then what Buzzsumo will do is it will go and fetch all the topics, right? And along with the social signal or social shares on different platform. Like you can see here, for this topic, for this piece of content, it gets like 500,000 Facebook engagement, right? 5 Twitter shares, 0 Pinterest shares, right? And then as you can see here, total engagement for each of the topics here, or even this one, right? You can see here. So you can use this tool to kind of find like which topics gets the most number of shares or like engagement on social media. So this is just to kind of confirm, right? Like that topic will really like people would be really interested in giving backlinks to this topic, or to share it or something like that. Another great tool here, which is essentially a kind of like a new tool, and I really love using it, is called Exploding Topics. So Exploding Topics, you can go to explodingtopics.com. It is a tool created by none other than Brian Dean himself, along with some of his partners. And this topics works similar to Google Trends, right? So it will basically look at different topics in each categories and then see what topics are trending or has a potential to grow, right, in the future, let's say in the next 3 months or 6 months. This tool has 2 versions, again, paid and free versions. Free version is really enough to to kind of let you do a research, right? Let's say as you can see, right, this topic here, side hustle, right? So side hustle, it has a search volume about 49.5 thousand searches per month, and it is growing right now. You can see, right, 1,214% growth. So if I click on this topic, then I know that this topic has a potential to grow, right? As you can see here. So if I'm in something, if my website is related to some of this niche, then I can create a content around this topic, right? And then and then I know that over a period of time this content will will keep on growing and growing. So you can also toggle this, let's say for the last 10 years, right? You can see that this topic has tremendously grown over time. So I know that if I create a piece of content around this topic, definitely I'll get lots of attractions, right? Lots of attentions from people, both the readers as well as people who are willing to give backlinks to my website, right, to my content, because this topic has such a great potential, right? Going forward, as you can see here, is growing very rapidly. So let's say, for instance, you found a topic that that will get backlinks, will get lots of social shares, like will get lots of attractions. And I forgot to mention, beside Exploding Topics, you can also use like forums, right? So just Quora.com. So Quora, it is a like world's largest Q&A platform here. So you can go to Quora.com and you can search for a topic, right, and then see what are the topics which keep on repeating again and again. So essentially the first step here is to find a topic which has lots of social shares and backlinks, right? So So far we only talked about social shares. Let's kind of look at the backlinks, right? So let's say I found my topics, right? Let's say I want to create a piece of content around the topic side hustle. Now I can go over to next. I can go over to the tools such as so we'll move on to the next step, right? Okay, still first step, all right. So I can kind of cross confirming this again by going to the tool such as Uber Suggest, or you can use things like SEMrush, Ahrefs, right? All your SEO tools, and then type in the topic, right? The main keyword that you want to create a piece of content on, and then you can see, right, the different keyword here, which will gives you a like a bunch of topics ideas, a bunch of keyword ideas for you to create a content on, right? So this is basically like a normal keyword research here, right? So now after you found a topic, next you have to create of course. Then you might be wondering, like, why don't you just create a content, just write about side hustles? Now side hustle, you can literally create content on anything, right? So what we want to do is to look for a topic which is a little bit more specific, right? Like as you can see, this is too broad, right? So you can use a keyword research tool such as this one, and then look for a topic which you can write about. Let's say side hustle school, right? Or this sounds interesting to me, side hustle for women, right? So now let's say you pick up keyword, right? So now you want to write about this topic, side hustle for women. And from our research, we know that side hustle is actually becoming a trending topic. So definitely you will get some eyeballs, you'll get some attractions, right? It is also have enough like good amount of search volume here. But remember, this first step, you don't really have to worry about search volume, and I'll tell you later on why this is a little bit different from your normal keyword research. Let's say I want to write about side hustle for women, right? So now we move on to the next step here. Step 2 is to check out the content ranking for that topic on the first page. So now what I would want to do is I would go to Google and then look at the first page results, right? Look at the first page results and check out all the content ranking for my topics. So side hustle for women, right? I want to see like what are the kind of content ranking here? Like, is there any potential potential angle where it can improve the existing content? Because remember, Skyscraper technique is to improve the existing content, right? You want to be the best version out there on the web for that particular keyword. Remember that. So as you can see, so these are all the topics ranking. At this point, don't worry about the keyword difficulty or anything. Just focus on building a better piece of content. As you can see, so this one has 99 side hustle ideas, right? Or even something like this one, yeah, 30 plus side hustles for incredibly busy women. So let's say this is my I want to create something better than this. So you might come up with, let's say, 100 plus side hustles for incredible busy women, right? Or something similar than this. Remember, we want to make it the best piece of content available out there, right? So we have here 100 side hustles. Okay, now we know that 100 is also not enough. We might have to even increase it to 150 or even 200, right? Just remember, create a very long piece of content, the best ever version you can do, right? So let's say now you get the idea of how much you want to write. What are the things that you want to write, right? So we move on to the next step here, which is to create something better, right? Like 10x better. If the maximum let's say like for this one, as you can see here, the maximum here is 100. So you might want to create like 200, 300, or even 500 side hustles ideas for working women, right? Like, just want to be the best versions. After that, next you want to kind of mass reach out, right? So after you have created your content, now you have that content lying right on your website. Now what do? Here comes the interesting step here. Now we have to build backlinks to that piece of content. And how do you do that? You basically look at all the backlinks pointing to your competitors, like for the people who are ranking for the keywords, and then reverse engineer, look at the people who who link to them. Let's say I want to know like who linked to this guy, right? We basically steal the backlinks from your competitors. So what I can do is I can copy the URL here, and I can go to, let's say, Ahrefs, right? Or you can use any backlink checker tools, and then I can check all the backlinks pointing to the people here, right? Who like who is my competitor here, or the one who ranks for this particular keywords. Okay, maybe I have to remove this. So you get a bunch of links there. Okay, so maybe if the first guy doesn't have link, we can always check. As you can see, this guy has 2000 something backlinks, right? Or when this guy like have 14 backlinks here. So you can do is you can like take all the competitors who are, or even this guy, right, like 28 backlinks. So 28, 14, right? So now you have a total of 32 prospects now to reach out. Or even this one, right, for 37 backlinks. So now you just have to like list down all the prospects, all the people who you want to reach out to in order to build links, right, for a particular keyword, right? So let's say we got this guy, and then I can check for the backlinks. So you can see, right, so 21 referring domains, right? So you might even come across the no follow tag here. What you want to do is look only for the one who who link out using do follow, right? Because remember, we want to get do follow backlinks here. So I hope you're getting the idea here, right? Just go through each and every of the people who are ranking for particular keywords. Check out each and every one of your backlinks profile, and basically export, right? Like combine them to a huge list of prospects, and then mass reach out, right? Just reach out to them. Just be specific in your emails, right? Like I don't have any email template to share with you because like literally if you just be specific, straightforward, and of course if your content is truly amazing, then most of the people will willingly to link back to you, right? Of course, some may ask for money, or but that's basically the name of the game here. Like nowadays, people ask for money. But anyway, yeah, this is the important part here, right? So hope you're getting the idea here. Let me kind of recap the steps. First, you find a topic which has lots of social shares and links, right? Just to make sure that you're not just creating any arbitrary piece of content, but that content has enough of attractions, right? Have enough of eyeballs, right? Enough of people linking to it, right? That's the first thing. So you can use all these tools, Bazumo, exploding topics, right? Forums, Google Trends, right? Or you can even research your competitors and then see like how many backlinks they have, right? And then you just basically reach out, right? Just to make sure that that topic, that keyword has enough prospects where you can reach out to. Then second step is to check out the content ranking for that particular topic on the first page, right? And see how you can make your content better than them. Preferably, you want to create something better like 10x or 20x, right? Depends on your capacity here. Once you've created that content, last step here is to mass reach out, right? Just reach out to those people, as many as possible. And by looking the people who link to your competitors, and make a list and just reach out, right? And now how to implement Skyscraper technique effectively, right? So what you don't know is, you might be wondering, like, so we create a good piece of content, we build a bunch of links to that piece of content, then now what, right? The purpose, let me kind of explain to you here as well. using paint here, right? Because what many people don't kind of explain to you is why you're using this technique, right, in your SEO strategies. And I'm gonna teach you how to really implement this effectively, right? Okay, just all right. I like to use pen, right? Is very handy and very easy to use. So all right, so now what you do, you've created a content, you build some links to that content. Now what, right? Now this is a crucial part here. So let's say this is your Skyscraper content, right? So you've got a bunch of links to this content, and this is your money page, right? This is your money page. And what I mean by money page here is, let's say if you're e-commerce, your money page would be your product or your category page, right? The page which makes you money, you can say that. If you're an affiliate website, affiliate marketing website, your money page would be, your review, right? Your review page. So and a Skyscraper technique is usually, and 99.9% is always an information content here, right? So normally Skyscraper technique would be an information content, like how to step by step or something like that, right? Like a informative piece of content. So let's say after you build a bunch of links to this Skyscraper technique, the goal of you doing this is not to rank this piece of content, although you can rank for it, but you don't really have to rank this piece of content. Now what you want to do is you want to internal link from this piece of content to your money page, right? And the reason we do this is because normally your money page won't get a bunch of links, right? Because who would normally link to your product page or to your category page? Not many people, right? So that's why the reason we utilize this technique is to build as many links as possible, so we can distribute the link power to your important pages, right? And this is why we utilize this technique, and this is how to really implement it effectively, right? Is to use the internal link from this piece of content to all the important pages that are relevant to this piece of content on your website. And the purpose of creating this content and building links to this content is not to rank this content, but to rather make it act like a middleman to transfer all the link juice to other piece of content on your website. And this is how you effectively implement this method in your SEO strategies, right? All right, so last, what are some of the drawbacks of Skyscraper technique, right? So number one, the biggest drawback here is it may not, it may be a little bit, expensive, right? So for some people, right, if you want to kind of create a like 10x better piece of content, you really have to invest in lots of resources, right? Whether it's writing, whether it's like coming up with all the topics and brainstorming on different stuff, right? Some of you may even do like like do a digital PR campaign, right, where you reach out to a bunch of people or experts, and then get some informations, right, like some of their recommendation there. So it may be a little bit expensive, right, and time consuming, but of course once you've nailed it, then it is very easier to scale, right? Because you create only one piece, and then you can distribute the links juice to other other important piece of content, right? And the secondly, right, it may be a little risky, right? So the reason why I mentioned that it may be a little risky is because you see, when you build a Skyscraper, when you utilize Skyscraper technique, you're essentially getting backlinks from a pre-existing content, right? So as I said, right, so you want to reach out to the people who already link to your competitors, and what you want to do is to, instead of to change the links to your content, right, instead of your competitors. So you're basically getting a link from an existing piece of content. Now, if you look at the trend of the internet, or the trend of how backlinks actually works in nature, not many people would update their existing piece of content in order to insert link back to other websites, right? So this doesn't look natural here, because you see, if you start getting more and more back, let's say you build like 100 of links from an old content, that may look a little bit that may be a little bit risky, right? So Google may start thinking like, then why suddenly, like, why this piece of content start getting, links from old website, right, or from old piece of content, right, rather than new piece of content. Because you see, it would be like very low chance for any old existing content to to link out to other piece of content, right? But rather, backlinks are naturally bound to happen on a newer piece of content, right? Because you see, let's say you want to write a new piece of content, then at that moment you would only find, right, some of the resources that you want to link out to, and then you create backlinks that way. But then, if you start getting backlinks from older piece of content over time, this may be a little bit risky, right? So of course you can do it like just like link insertions, right, where I explained to you is the same drawback here. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check my previous video about niche edits or link insertions. It's basically the same drawback here, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, right, with the drawbacks, you can obviously execute these strategies, but make sure to kind of confirm it, right? Oh yeah, and the third drawback here is you have no control over your anchor text, right? So here you have no control over your anchor text, especially if you want to rank this skyscraper content, right? You have no control over your anchor text, because you're basically asking the webmasters or other websites to link you naturally. So he or she will use any of the anchor text which was already existing there, right? So you can't control what anchor text you use. So this may lead to over optimization, right? Like he may use the same keyword anchor text over and over again, or under optimizations, which means he may not even use any of the keyword anchor text, right? It all depends on what was already there on the existing content, right? So you really basically have no control over it. So that are basically these are the three drawbacks, right? Make sure I'm not saying that this is not a good strategy. It is a very good strategy, but of course everything has limit to it, right? So make sure you utilize it, but to the limit. Don't overdo it, right? Or only once in a while you can obviously launch the skyscraper strategies, but make sure to mix it along with other strategies as well, such as guest posting, right? Or let's say white hat, other link building method, right? And that's all for it. I hope you find this video valuable. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and try to answer them as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.